Bloody Mary Podcast. Welcome to the Bloody Married Podcast, where we talk about all things horror while drinking a Bloody Mary. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tami, and we are totally married.
Mm.
We got our Bloody Marys, and tonight we are reviewing The Black Phone.
Yep, we just got back from the movie
We
theater.
did.
Haven't talked about it yet. But before we get into it, we have merch.
What? We do have merch now.
We
Yay!
have shirts, we have hoodies, we got water bottles, we got coffee mugs, some other stuff there.
We got some beanies.
Yeah. So if you go to www.bloodymarriedpodcast.com. Again, that's bloodymarriedpodcast.com. You'll find links to our merch and also a link to all our socials, our YouTube, and also if you'd like to
Support us on our Amazon wish list. That would be awesome.
that's on there too. We got some cool stuff on there,
Yeah.
but yeah, merch. There's shirts and shit. So
What?
check
You
it
can get
out.
Bloody Mary podcast shirts.
Go buy some.
That's exciting.
If you buy any merch, tag us in the post it on social.
Yeah, take a picture, tag us.
Yeah. So the Black Phone. So we're not going to spoil anything yet, but we will soon, and we'll let you know. So you're good to hang on right
Yeah.
now. So
For a couple minutes.
Yeah. so the Black Phone.
Yes.
What did you think?
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I thought the performances were great. The kids
Mhm.
were really good.
They were. Yeah.
Ethan Hawke, creepy.
He crushed it.
He fucking crushed
Right?
that shit. He was creepy as shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Ethan Hawke. That's not giving anything away. Ethan Hawke is the bad guy. That's in the trailers. Yeah. He nailed it out of the park. And oh god, I forget. Someone designed the masks for him.
Those are that was an awesome mask. Like a
Well, every time we see him, he has a new mask. It's like a different facial expression.
I guess I wasn't really.
Yeah.
I was more paying attention to either he had the top half on,
Yeah.
or the bottom half on.
Yeah, which is really cool. Yeah, I thought it was really good too. And so did you know anything about this movie going in? Because I read the short story.
I did not. You told me that it was based on a short story,
Yeah.
but I didn't read it yet.
So
I'm gonna read it now because that was I'm interested.
Yeah. As someone who hasn't read it, were you surprised by anything that happened? Were you like, oh, that's cool, or I wasn't seeing that coming, or did you not understand or get what was going on for a few times?
No, I totally understood what was going on. I don't think there was anything like, I guess I was kind of wondering if there was another like accomplice or something.
Mm-hmm.
But because he was like, no, I won't hurt you. And so I was wondering, but then after it started going, it seemed like he had.
Don't spoil anything.
Sorry, no spoilers. Oh my gosh, I'm trying not to spoil for 5 minutes. Yeah, no, there wasn't anything that I was like, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
It was really good. The tone was good.
Yeah.
It was shot well. It was creepy.
Mm-hmm.
The acting was really great. Like I said, the kids were pretty great.
Yeah, the kids were a lot of fun. Like you get to know like your main kid characters kind of before the movie kicks off, and they took some time to do that. I think they took at least 20 minutes before kind of like the meat of the thing kicked off,
Right.
which was good. You got some character development, some really funny lines from the kids.
Oh, the sister, fucking
The sister's
little
swearing all over
cocksucker.
swearing all over the place. There's a scene where what'd she say when she was trying to pray to Jesus? Like, fuck you.
And she was like, fuck you, Jesus. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. She has a lot of cool lines.
Are you even real? And then she was like, okay, I'm sorry. I said you weren't real. Like I promised.
Yeah. And then oh God, I wish I knew the line she said, but she was like fighting the kids and she threw out like cock smoker or something like that. That was really funny.
She was,
Yeah.
because they were beating on her brother. She
Yeah.
was like, listen, cock fuckers or something like that.
It was something along the lines of that. And just like
that's my kind of girl.
yeah. But
What did you think?
I think it was really good too. And I read the short story, which was recommended to me by my buddy Sean, who's been on the podcast. And we both were talking about, God, I wonder how they're going to make this into a movie. Because I think the short's only like, it can't be any more than 30 pages. It's pretty, it's pretty cut and dry. And kind of just what I expected. They added a few little things, but they just really expanded on everything that that's in that.
Mhm.
Like, you know, if something's a paragraph, that was like 10 minutes.
Right.
And then there's some stuff that wasn't in the book, but it stayed. Everything that happened was in the book. I think there's one thing that changed that we could talk about when we get into spoilers here pretty soon. But yeah, it's a really fun horror movie, edge of your seat kind of thing. Yeah, so we got to get into spoilers,
right, guys. I'm so sorry. We can't make it 5 minutes.
We ran out. So spoilers. Go watch Black Phone. Come back and listen. Yeah, it was awesome. I liked it. It wasn't the best horror movie I've seen, but for what it did, it was really good. And it was set in 1978, and I like the overall tone and the feel of it. And it's still one of those things where just before phones, you could get away with a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, you could.
Like there's so many kids going missing in like what seemed like just this
like
small
a span,
area,
like this little tiny area in the span of very not like not long.
Six kids just like kidnapped and disappeared, and it seems like, you know, it's just this van rolling around in broad daylight nabbing kids. This day and age, that just wouldn't happen.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. And you know, it really did well setting up the suspense. Like you were like, oh.
In what way do you think?
I think when he creeped by him to get to the front door to get out, that was really well.
Oh, once you're into the movie.
You're into the movie, I think that was really well paced out, and it built up. You're like, oh god, he's free, and then he doesn't.
Yeah. Well, anyways, if you don't know what Black Phone is or anything, it's the movie's about a kid. It's in 1978, and there's kids are going missing.
Yes, in Denver.
Yeah, and then a black van rolls up and nabs our main character. Then he's in the basement and he's trying to figure out how to get out. And then his captor is Ethan Hawke with a variety of masks on, just being creepy as shit.
Oh, and different voices. I really think, because that's what kind of in the beginning I was like, oh, I wonder if he's the grabber. And
That's
then another guy
interesting.
is the, you know, like that for a second.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning he was like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm like, I'm bringing you food. I can't tell you. Like he was very like, there was someone upstairs and he's kind of protecting you. But really once it got going, you could tell that there was different people up in his head. There was the soft, sweet voice that was like this. Mm-hmm. And then he got the angry voice. And then he slipped into like just regular Ethan Hawke voice for a second when his brother was like, oh no, it's just a dog. It's fine. You know, you kind of, and you could see it through his, you know, in his eyes through the mask, like kind of the.
Well, I think that mirrored, like, if go back and watch it, I'm not certain, but I think it was because the mask would be smiling and then that would be one personality. The mask would have a frown and that would be a personality.
That makes sense.
And then he would do that. The one thing that the book did, the movie did differently than the book is, so from what I remember, the big reveal in the book is that his brother is upstairs. So the book is kind of played as to like, you don't know why he's not killing this kid. He keeps going down and keeps messing with them. So the fact that someone was home was the reveal as to why. Because he wanted to kill him sooner in the book. Like, he would have just killed him probably like that day or something. And the whole Naughty Boy game was not in the book. So it was just, he couldn't kill the kid because his brother showed up. And so he was like really frustrated. Like, that's why he like interacting with the kid more, because he had to. Like, he didn't want to be talking with the kid. But in the movie, that you realize that someone's there like right off the bat almost.
Yeah, I would say maybe like
your second or third scene in the basement, then because the kid automatically said, "Is someone there? Is someone up there?"
Yeah, because that's how when I thought there was like the other big, like there may have been an accomplice.
Yeah.
And then when they showed the coke guy, I was like, oh,
there's no way.
And then all of a sudden you're like, and then it pans down and he's underneath. You're like, and okay,
yeah.
So clearly he has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And then the other kind of twist, I guess, is that his sister, I don't know if it's twin sister or little, like his sister, gets dreams and visions, and she keeps dreaming about all the kids that get taken, and then she dreams about her brother, and that's kind of partly how he got not rescued, because he did that himself. But
if the police wouldn't have showed up, then he still would have escaped.
He would have.
Yeah.
But his sister's trying to help with her visions.
Yeah.
And then, he ends up talking to all the ghost kids. The ghost kids are like, pick up the phone. Okay. Yeah. They're like, okay, I did this. And so he's like,
that was cool. That was fun.
That was cool.
And that's like all of the moments I got scared were the kids.
Oh,
like there's a couple really cool jump scares where he's on the phone and then it pans and the kid's like right there. I was like, ah!
Yeah. And the one that was hanging, dripping. The dripping. He's like, what's that dripping? And he takes his little flashlight and there's just a dead.
He's in the basement and there's a drip, and he's looking to see what it is. And then what is it?
There's just a dead kid floating
with its throat slit.
As the blood, and then points to like his next, like, pick up the phone.
Yeah, it was cool how all these ghosts were calling him on the phone and like giving him little tips, like because each one of these kids tried to do something which like built up to he was able to escape because all these kids tried to do all these things.
Right.
Like one kid tried to fuck with the phone line, so there's a phone line. One
tried to dig a hole.
Yeah.
One was like bust open the concrete. There's a freezer, like get through. Like that kid was doing everything.
I think my favorite like image was the first time you see Ethan Hawke sitting in the chair with his shirt off. He's got his belt.
Yeah, and he's just waiting.
That was creepy as fuck.
It was creepy because they like
great.
Leave the door open so the kid can escape. It's his game.
Yeah, and I almost was expecting him to like get caught and get that belt because it would have made sense because he's built up a resilience because his dad obviously like belts the kids,
right?
So I was kind of expecting him to like be able to take that as part of his escape, that he can take abuse,
right? Because they kind of set that up in the beginning.
I feel like they might have shot that and then they just didn't put it in the film,
right? And then just kept the sister getting beat with the belt with the drunk dad.
Yeah, that was fun too. I mean, it sets up. I mean, that was kind of a good character arc for the dad too. And at the very like he's a drunk. Then he's beating the daughter with a belt and telling her don't have dreams, all that stuff. But then you find out that the mother killed herself because of her dreams.
Yeah. So it seems like both her children have inherited her whatever.
Yeah.
Her sixth sense, her superpowers. To speak to the dead or have dreams or whatever, and she ended up killing herself, and so he's doesn't want that to happen, but you still shouldn't drink and beat your children.
Yeah. So, he had a little redemption arc.
He did at the end. He was like, "I'm so sorry."
And the kids, it's the cool thing about that is the kids weren't like, "We forgive you, Dad." They were just sitting up there like, "Okay, whatever." They were like with each other.
Yeah, those two are. I feel like they're best friends for life, and they survived their dad, and and then he survived this.
Yeah, and then so I don't know if they are or not, but it seemed like they weren't fully brother and sister. So that's why I was wondering if the boy has powers too, just like the sister. Because he can hear the ghosts because nobody listens to them on the phone.
Right. The little kids were like, you're the only one that can hear us.
Yeah.
Besides him, he can hear the phone. The grabber can hear the phone. That's why he put the phone to him at the very end.
He can hear it. Yeah, he can hear it ring, but he can't hear the spirits.
Oh, well, I think the kids got through the end.
Yeah, at the end.
At the end, they're like, motherfucker.
Yeah. That was cool. I like
how the kids were all like, I like how it tied back, like each kid, you'd flash back to a memory of the Finn kid interacting with each one.
Yeah, that was
and
cool.
Then kind of like, you have a mint arm, and he's like, got it. He strangles him and just like breaks his neck with the phone cord.
The whole like final sequence was like a horror Home Alone.
It was
where he like made him trip, and then he fell into like the hole he dug
and hit the grate that he pulled off the window.
Broke his foot in there, and then when he was just beating the hell out of his head with the phone
that had dirt in it.
I like the sequence too where the ghost is teaching him how to hit with the phone.
Back.
That was
forward.
that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. And And then at the end, because he was like the kid that got picked on in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then in the end, he's like goes to school and everyone's like, he's the one that killed the fucking grabber?
Yeah.
Like, look at that kid. He's tiny.
Yeah.
Like, he fucking killed him?
He's smaller than I thought he'd be.
Yeah, man. And he's just
grabber
walking.
was 7 feet tall and he killed him.
And he just walked in the halls like, yeah, I did, motherfuckers. Yeah, I did.
I killed a grabber and I can hear ghosts. What up? My future is going to be weird.
Oh, I'm going to be, that kid's, see, and I just think like, oh my God, he's going to need so much therapy. Like,
I think they're going to not be as bad as you think they're going to be. I think they're
he's still
fine.
Got kidnapped and killed someone. So that like,
yeah, he's good.
That leaves a little bit of something in you.
In that last scene where he's going back to school, he's good. He's good. He's good to go.
Sure.
Yeah. He's fine. Don't worry about it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it helped too that all the ghosts were like, you're the one that's going to get away. He's fine. Don't worry about it.
I worry.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good time in the theater.
It really was. And like I said, Ethan Hawke was really fucking creepy.
I like when he does horror.
He was super creepy.
He was good in, what was it, Sinister? He was good in that. He doesn't do them too often, but when he does, it's cool that he chose to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
I like that. Him and his daughter are just killing it lately in the horror world.
They are.
Ethan Hawke doing this one, and then Maya in Stranger Things.
Killing it on Stranger Things.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think the director for this, didn't he direct, am I making shit up, or did he direct the first Doctor Strange?
I don't know.
I'm going to look right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
There you go.
Scott Derrickson. And he directed Sinister with Ethan Hawke.
Oh, so that makes sense.
So it's like, Ethan Hawke's like, I'm only doing horror with you.
That's it. Okay, let's go.
Ethan Hawke was great. Yeah.
He was. And you really didn't see.
You didn't see his face much. Yeah.
I don't think you really saw it at all.
I think the most you saw it was in the beginning where he just has makeup on.
But you really...
And then towards the end, you see the bottom of his face.
Yeah, but you really don't,
see his full face.
It's very... it doesn't stay on his face very long.
No,
And it's really cool that because it doesn't stay on his face too long, he did really well, like, grabbing you in those, like...
Yeah.
Emoting through something like a mask like that, or like... Yeah.
He was good at acting with a mask on. All his mannerisms and stuff, like his hands going up, and he did a great job. It's too bad that not that it matters, but like the Academy or the Golden Globes don't recognize horror as much or at all,
right?
Because put Ethan Hawke on that list.
Yeah, he
did a good job.
Really good.
Yeah, and I liked his pants, his cool bell bottoms that he wore. Pretty
you
sick.
Just like that era.
Yeah, I love that era of clothing. Like when
Same.
we're wealthy and stuff, I'm just gonna dress like I'm straight from 1978.
All right.
Like
Okay.
Used car salesman that likes to go to Club 54 on the weekends. And this is where we had some technical difficulties. It didn't want to record our audio. Frickin' gremlins. So what do you rate The Black Phone?
I give it an 8 out of 10 Bloody Marys.
Cool. And I give it a 7 out of 10.
All right.
And now, back to our regularly scheduled program. You know what I think? I think this is a case where I really wish I wouldn't have read the book beforehand. I wish I would have just experienced the film.
And then went and read the book and see.
Yeah. So if I would have done it that way, I probably would have gave it an 8 or a 9.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew everything that was happening.
Right.
And I knew the end that he'd get away, unless they drastically changed it. But yeah, the author is Stephen King's son, Joe Hill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he also wrote Horns.
Oh, Horns is great.
Yeah, so it's good.
Yeah.
So check it out. The book.
Definitely. Check the movie out, read the book.
Yeah.
Check the movie out first, then read the book.
Yes, do it that way. Don't read the book first. Yeah. Anyway, okay, cool. Let's wrap that up.
All right.
We're good.
Quick
review.
Our Bloody Marys are dead.
Yeah, and so are we.
And so are we.
www.bloodymarypodcast.com.
Yes.
Buy some merch.
Get your merch.
Later.
All right. Bye-bye.
The Bloody Mary